everyone, this is Chelsea Perry. I am a clinical hypnotherapist specializing in past life regression, and I am a level 2 QHHT practitioner. So the session that I want to share with you today is multifaceted. There are many tidbits of information, but what makes this one so interesting is this client had been to me for her first QHHT session, which was very successful. Everything was cleared in the physical and energetic body. Later on, we taught a Reiki class, me and Reverend Deborah Perry, and we teach how to shield and how to protect your energy field and how to work with energy and all of the different layers that go to working with energy, not just introducing it. And so it was really interesting that there seemed to be a persistent thing that came up for this client. Enough so that we decided it was a really good idea to do another session and figure out if we could get to the bottom of what was going on with the physical body. And so what we discovered really, I think, was completely unexpected, how deep this problem was. So what she discovered was, as she was going through this, there was black magic involved. This was really not something that either one of us had expected. And so they really go into detail about what that looks like and why it was difficult to remove, but also why it was not seen before. And so the pyramid that they bring up is a physical pyramid that I had been asked to build by my higher self. And I did that after really just struggling with the idea of building such a thing. You can see that pyramid in my video Conversations with the Higher Self, but I usually have all my clients sit under that pyramid now, as long as they're pulled to it and as long as they're comfortable. But it has been really fascinating to see why they were so adamant about it, because now it makes so much sense as they use that to work through clearing this energy. And so there's lots of other tidbits with channeling and bringing in the Lyrans, and how to do that and opening up those pathways during this session. So it has a lot of fun information. I hope you enjoy. I want you to tell me the very first thing that you notice.
It's very green, and there's like landed in front of a huge castle is what it looks like.
What else do you notice?
It's sunny and quiet.
Are there any smells around you?
Just the smell of the grass.
And when you look down at your feet, what do you notice? What do they look like?
They're in these black shoes. I'm wearing what looks like a dress.
What color do you notice that dress is?
Pink and white.
And are you carrying anything with you?
No.
And when you look at your hands, what do you notice about them? Do they look young or older?
Probably like a little bit. Probably early young adulthood.
And as you're looking at that castle, tell me about it.
Kind of gray and brown color. It's massive.
What does the top look like?
It's kind of pointy. Has like different points all over. Different parts of the building are points.
And what else do you notice as you're looking at this castle?
When I turn around, there's like a big gate in the front.
And that was behind you?
Mm-hmm.
What does the gate look like?
It's like a stone gate. It looks really big and heavy.
And is there anyone there at the gate?
In like the tower part, but that's it.
Are you able to see them?
They're just sitting there.
What do they look like?
They're wearing like metal armor almost. That's what it looks like.
And do they look friendly?
I guess so.
And what are you doing? Are you walking to the castle?
It's like a gravel pathway.
Tell me what else you notice as you're walking down this gravel pathway.
I'm coming up on like the door. It's like a big brown, like really tall double door.
And what happens when you walk up to this door?
It opens up and there's a guy standing there. Kind of looks like a butler or a servant of some sort.
And what kind of clothes is he wearing?
Like a black suit.
And is he young or old?
He's older, maybe like 50s.
And what happens when you get to this door? Does he take you somewhere?
Someone's been waiting for me, is what he says.
And how do you feel about that?
Kind of indifferent, I guess.
So what happens now? Where do you go?
It's like a large dining room.
Tell me about it.
It's a really long table with a bunch of people sitting around it.
And what are they eating?
Looks like different meats and sides. I get the feeling that this is like family friends.
And what are you doing?
Standing in the doorway.
And what happens while you're standing in the doorway?
I see my dad, who's not happy that I'm late, because that's who was waiting for me.
And why would he not be happy that you're late?
It seems that I'm never quite on time there.
What were you doing?
Outside in like the garden area.
Oh, that sounds fun. Do you like to garden? What do you do when you garden?
Like to smell all the flowers and then eat some of the stuff while I'm out there. I get the feeling that I just like don't like to be a part of family stuff.
Well, what are you doing? Are you sitting somewhere at the table with people that you recognize?
Yeah, I end up sitting down at one end.
And tell me about it. What are you doing?
Talking to a woman. I can't tell if she's my mother or my grandmother, but she's a little softer than my dad is.
And what are you talking about?
Never being on time.
Do they expect that from you?
I get the feeling that I'm like, I don't fit into the like norm there, like of a woman, and like obedient I am not.
And why is that?
I just beat to my own drum.
Well, that doesn't sound to be anything wrong with that.
Mm-mm.
And so, how is it sitting at the table? Is there a lot of people that are having fun? Or?
Yeah, I get the sense of the celebration.
Well, do you know what you're celebrating?
I think I'm supposed to get married to somebody that I don't want to.
And is this what the celebration is for?
Mm-hmm.
So they found a suitor?
Yeah.
Is he there?
Mm-hmm.
And what do you think about that?
I don't really like him very much.
Do you know why you don't like him?
He's not a very good person.
And so why are you marrying him?
Family relations.
And what does that do for your family?
Helps them like stay within status.
Do they have a high status?
It seems like it.
So you live in this castle?
Mm-hmm.
Well, tell me about dinner. How's it going and what are you doing around you?
Talking to my mom and my sister. Just kind of laughing, although I feel this like just sense of dread being there.
Can you tell me about that?
Like it's just not something that I'm looking forward to. I was like trying to find a way out of it.
Tell me as you're sitting at this table, just explain to me what's going on around you.
It's both families, and everybody's just kind of sitting there talking. I get the feeling that this is going to happen sometime this week.
So that's pretty soon. And did they have to travel to come, the other family, to come be a part of this?
Yeah, it's like a long celebration.
And what happens after you eat?
Seems I try to talk to my dad about not wanting to, and he's not having it.
What about your sister? Is she younger than you? So she doesn't have to get married yet?
No, I have an older and a younger sister.
And what about your older sister?
My older sister wants me to just go with the flow.
Is she married?
And miserable.
Is that why you don't want to get married? And why is she miserable?
She didn't like her partner either.
So then why does she want you to go through it?
Because you just have to follow the rules.
And what about your mom? Is she happy in her marriage?
Not particularly, but
They figured it out?
yeah, for the most part.
So tell me what your conversation is like with your father.
Basically just telling me like this is how it goes and I really don't have a choice. I'm gonna do it whether I want to or not.
So what do you do?
I just walk away and go into my room.
Tell me about your room. What does that look like?
It's big. My bed is very like plush. I have like a big dresser with a ton of different colored dresses in it.
What kind of dresses do you like to wear?
I don't really like to wear them, but the loose-fitting ones are nice, able to move in.
And why don't you like to wear them?
They're just not my style. I would just rather, I don't know, be more comfortable, I guess.
Do you have other options for clothes to wear?
I have stuff for like gardening, pants, and stuff that can get dirty.
Tell me about your room. What do your walls look like?
They have this like wallpaper on them. Looks very like old time.
And what's on the wallpaper?
Flowers.
And do you hang anything on your walls? Or do you decorate?
I have a mirror and some like landscape portraits, but that's about it.
And what else is in your room?
I have a dresser with a mirror on it, kind of like a vanity, which is nice.
So tell me what you're doing now that you're in your room.
Just kind of sulking, I guess. I figure it's probably something I'm not going to be able to get out of.
Well, we are going to move forward to an important day in that life. And you're going to drift and float. Drifting and floating. Time can move fast until you reach an important day in that life. Drifting and floating. As you reach that important day, I want you to begin explaining to me what you notice.
A lot of violence.
What does that look like around you?
Well, it's more towards me. It's that person that I married.
So you already married him?
This is later on. And it is very, it's very aggressive.
And why is he being violent?
Because I don't do things the way that I should.
Did he expect you to? So what are you doing?
Talking to people I shouldn't.
Can you tell me about it?
I was talking to some lady who is lower class, I guess, and that's like frowned upon.
Why would that be frowned upon?
I'm not sure. I just think like it's based on status and classes, things like that.
So what is going on around you now?
I feel like this is like a regular occurrence of receiving physical violence from him.
And do you try to get away?
Yeah, but it doesn't really work.
And have you told your family?
It seems like it, but they can't really do anything, or they won't do anything.
And so what do you do once this is finished with your husband?
Nothing, because I'm locked in this room.
He locked you in a room?
Mm-hmm.
What room did he lock you in?
A really small one.
Is it your bedroom?
No, it's a different room. It's just really tiny and kind of dark.
Are there any windows or ways to see outside?
Tiny one.
Tell me about the room that you're in.
It's got a small bed. Kind of dirty. Wood floors. Just kind of a dark and gray.
And what are you doing now that you're in this room?
Just sitting there kind of feeling trapped.
What's going through your mind as you're sitting here?
Or like it's gonna be like this forever.
And how long do you have to stay in there?
It seems like a really long time.
And what happens when you are finally allowed out of the room?
I can only do like certain things. I can't go anywhere.
So are you stuck in the house?
I can't do anything really that I like to do.
You can't garden? And why aren't you allowed to garden?
He seems very like sadistic in a way of like liking to see misery.
Is there anyone else around you?
Like the helpers, but we can't do anything.
Do you talk to them?
No,
And why not?
they won't talk to me.
Are they scared to talk to you? And so what do you do with your days now that you're in this house?
Seems like I read and I sleep a lot.
You read? What do you like to read?
Fiction books. Because it seems like a good escape.
And what kind of stories do you enjoy?
The fantasy ones.
Do you have any favorites?
Something that's coming is just the ones with the dragons in them are my favorite.
You like dragons?
Mm-hmm.
And so what else do you do? Do you still live with your family in the castle?
I moved into a different one. Their families.
And do you live with his family?
Yeah.
And how are they? Do you enjoy their company?
No, they're not very nice.
And why are they not nice?
I'm not quite sure, but they're just rude people.
Is there no one there that you enjoy speaking to?
There seems to be an older lady who is like, I don't know if she's a cook or if she does laundry, I'm not sure. She's the only one that will talk to me.
And you enjoy seeing her?
Yeah.
And what do you talk about?
Seeing the bright side of things.
And is she happy?
No, but she seems to be, I don't know, found something to help her.
Well, it's nice to have a friend there. And now we are going to move forward to the last day of your life, drifting and floating. Time will move faster until you reach the last day in that life. Drifting and floating, slowing down as you reach the last day of your life. In that life, and as you come to the last day in that life, explain to me what you begin to notice.
It seems to be some type of war.
And what do you see around you?
People rushing around. I think that there have been people that come into the house and they're just killing people.
And what are you doing?
Trying to run.
And when you look down at your hands, do you look young or older?
Still young. Maybe like 30, 40.
And what's going on as you're running?
There's just chaos everywhere.
Where are you going?
Trying to find a hiding spot, but
And what do the people look like that are coming into your house?
they're wearing like fur and metal.
What does that look like? Like armor and fur from the animals? And what else are they wearing?
You have like axes and like knives.
And do you recognize them as someone you've ever seen? And why are they doing this?
It's like for land, I think.
Did you know they were coming?
No, it was a surprise.
And where's your husband?
I think he's out.
Was he home? And so he doesn't know
No.
And do you see any of his family there with you?
Yeah, his mom is there. The older lady is there.
And what are they doing?
Trying to run and hide as well.
Are there any men there with you? From the family?
Yeah, like an uncle and family friend.
And what are they doing?
Trying to fight them, I guess.
And do you find a hiding place?
No, someone caught me. I'm the older lady.
Well, you can watch it as if you're watching a movie. You will not experience any pain or discomfort. You will not feel a thing as you explain to me what you notice. What happens?
I was running and I got like an axe in the shoulder, actually.
And they captured you?
Mm-hmm.
And what do they do?
I see that I'm like tied up at one point.
And are you outside your body? Or are you still there?
Like in between.
So tell me what's going on.
They're just gonna kill me.
Well, after they do that, just explain to me when you're looking down around you what you notice.
There's just still a lot of fighting going on.
Is the old lady still alive?
No. They killed both of us.
Do you know why they did that?
Payback.
What is it payback for?
I think something that my husband did.
Well, on this side, you're able to see things more clearly. Are you able to see what it is he did?
Stole from them.
And what did he steal?
Just like a bunch of goods.
Did he do that often?
Yeah. He was not a very good person.
And so as you're looking around you, what was the point of that life?
To overcome darkness.
And do you feel like you did that?
I felt like I was maybe starting to.
And what else do you notice about that life? What did you learn?
Stuff about being myself, like I was trying to embrace who I was and it was really pushed down.
And is there anyone with you now that you're on this side?
Seems like my grandmother.
Your grandmother?
Mm-hmm.
What else do you notice?
I feel a lot more calm now.
And what is your grandmother doing?
She's just there supporting. Just kind of holding space, I guess.
And what are you doing now that you have left that life?
I'm going back to review it.
And tell me about that.
I'm with people that I seem to know.
Tell me about them.
It just feels very light and loving.
And what are they telling you?
That they missed me.
And what are you learning about that life?
Overcoming hard things. Trusting myself.
Do you feel like you accomplished that?
I think for the most part, yeah.
Was there anything else that you had meant to learn or that you had planned?
I get the feeling that I was meant to kind of resist and try to do my own thing.
And why is that?
Because I was so different. Just learning how to speak for myself, use my voice. But I think it's hard in a situation like that.
And what are they telling you about that life?
That I did a good job.
Is there anything they assist you with?
Healing. Like physical. The depression really kind of weighed down my energy. And so they're helping clear that.
And how are they doing that?
They're sending this loving energy to different areas of my body. Or energy, I guess. Because I don't really have a body.
Tell me about what that feels like.
It feels like a warm, like a pulsating kind of feeling. Kind of like a hug too.
And if you don't have a body, how is it healing you?
It's within the energy field. It's almost like the really strong negative emotion seemed to tax my energy field. So they kind of try to absorb it and transmute it in a way.
And what about the wound that you received when you died? How do they heal that?
It's also tied to like the throat chakra, who's in that area. So working to heal that part of the energy.
And how is that attached to that energy center?
It's a choice around sharing my voice, and it got damaged when I didn't do that, when I went along with what was expected of me. It almost like damaged that area.
And what does that damage look like?
It looks like a darkness.
And does the axe wound affect that too?
And
are they able to fully heal that?
They're still trying to.
Is it difficult to work on?
Yeah, I'm not really sure why.
Can you ask them to tell you what they're doing and why it's taking so long?
It's partly, how do I say? Magic or something that was used on me, which is why it's hard to heal it, if that makes sense.
Can you tell me more about the magic?
The person that I was married to comes from a very dark family. And different rituals were used on people, from what I understand.
And did they do it on you as well? Can you tell me about that? What kind of magic would they do? Did you know about it?
I didn't. Some sort of like entity that attaches to you.
Did you know about it in the life?
No.
And is it still there now?
It lingers a bit, like not fully healed.
And so are they able to heal it?
No.
Why not?
They don't know how to.
And so what happens now?
I go to like some resting area.
And what is that like?
Relaxing. It feels like rest, like good rest.
And what does the place look like?
It's like a little pod. It doesn't feel like before, like where you're trapped. You can come and go. But it just feels like very soothing energy.
And I want you to take time to rest in this pod. And as you're resting in this pod, you'll allow that energy to rejuvenate your soul, mind, and body in every way and every life. As you're relaxing in that place of healing and rest. And I want you to fast forward to when you finally finish your resting. And when you do, I want you to explain to me what you notice.
I feel a lot better.
And is that area where the entity was on your shoulder, is that all healed?
There's like a little dot left.
And so what do you do now?
Seems I go back to that group of souls, beings.
And what are you doing now?
Talking about potentially going to another life. I get this as something that probably will have to work on.
Can you tell me about it?
Something in the, like, embracing being yourself helps to release that attachment.
And so tell me about this life you're talking about going to.
I actually think it's this one.
And so tell me about the planning.
I can't really, like, understand what's going on. Like, there's a group of people talking, but
Can you ask them what they're talking about?
they're trying to figure out what is the best way to learn this lesson.
And what lesson are you learning?
To speak up and be myself. And really embrace that.
And so what does that conversation look like as you're listening?
Setting up situations in which, like, push me to learn hard lessons. For some reason, I get the feeling I have to learn things harder, like the hard way. I don't really know why.
Can you ask them what kind of things they're setting up?
It seems like experiences where, like, I have to be myself in order for, like, there not to be resistance.
And how do they know what kind of situations you'll need to be in?
Something similar to this past life with, like, power and control, because I recognize it. And when I feel the resistance to it, it'll be a reminder that this is something I have to overcome.
And so when are you planning that for this next life?
Throughout childhood.
And will that help that spot disappear?
I have to overcome the trauma from growing up. And once I embrace it, it should clear up.
And so tell me about the rest of the planning. What does that look like?
Seems like they set up like agree on moments in time, almost like a deja vu moments, where I know because something will feel so similar that it'll like trigger my memory.
Trigger your memory to the last life?
Or to just all the lives before. Like they all add up towards a similar goal. Like each life builds on the next.
And is there anything else that they're helping you plan to learn in this life?
Spreading new information and love over fear.
And what else do you notice about this planning?
There's a lot of different difficulties because it's supposed to help me relate. It adds on past things too, because I can understand like different dimensions of things, topics, pain. It helps to be more relatable.
It does. While you're there planning, and as you're experiencing those processes, I want you to stay there and yet drift away from that place. May I speak to Kaylah's higher self?
Yes.
Do I have permission to speak to Kaylah's higher self?
Yes.
Do I have permission to ask questions?
Yes.
I know the higher self could have shown her many lifetimes, but it chose to show her the life most recent. Can you tell her why you showed her this lifetime?
It is most similar to the life that she is living now.
And how is that?
She grew up with a mother who was similar to the father in that lifetime, of wanting her to do and be what she should have been, or what they thought she should have been. And so this showed her a piece in time where there are two paths. The path that she took in that lifetime led to blocking the throat chakra, blocking different areas of her life. So she can see now in this life there's two paths, She can choose to dim the light, or she can choose to show up and face the fear.
And do you think that she did that in this life?
In this life?
Yes. Did she learn that in this life?
I think she could see in this past life where she could have done better. Move forward. I think in this life she is moving in the right direction, although gets caught up many times.
Can you tell her more about that so that she understands better what she's learning?
She many times gets caught up in other people's perceptions and fears abandonment, betrayal. But when she shows up truly in the authentic, most high version of herself, she will learn that the people that are meant for her will be. And she has to begin to trust that.
Can you give her any advice for what she should be doing to assist with this process of learning?
I think she's already in the process of seeing other people's perceptions of her are not direct reflections of her, but rather of them. And trusting the feelings that she gets and the things that come up for her will be important moving forward.
And is there any advice you can give her? Anything that would help her?
I would say trust her instinct, because it is correct. And to lean into a love mindset versus fear. I think many times she gets caught up in the fear of it all, and that overshadows everything else. Really, it's not separate. Nothing is separate.
Can you tell her about the axe wound in her shoulder? Is that still with her today?
Yes.
And why is that?
Reminder, I guess, of it's popping up more and more now because she's facing really owning her truth, talking it, saying it, things like this. And when she goes against it, it really kind of flares up to remind her. It's a reminder.
And so is she going against it often enough?
Yes. Bending over backwards for the people, not following what's right for her.
And what is right for her?
It is not conventional in means of today, and embracing that part of her that other people may judge or look at as different or weird. This is the part that she's meant to embrace.
And what is she supposed to be doing? Is there something in particular that is of her best interest?
I think she's on the way of doing it, spreading spiritual information, healing, energy work. The more she moves in this type of direction, the more things will align.
And can you tell her about the shoulder and neck pain she is having?
Yes, this is tied to the throat chakra, as well as the heart chakra. The throat chakra becomes blocked at times when she may hold back sharing something or not truly speaking her truth. The heart chakra can become blocked when she gets caught in separation.
And what do you mean by separation?
Fear stories about others not liking her or not understanding, not getting it. These are stories that she's repeated since she was younger that she needs to work through.
Can you assist her in that?
Mm-hmm.
And how would you assist her in that?
Sending reminders helps with her to get back on track, but can also help with clearing energy that may be stuck.
And the pain in her neck and shoulder, can you assist her with that?
Yes.
And what does that look like?
Pulling out these cords that are stuck.
Tell me about them. What does that look like?
These look like cords from the past that have not been able to be removed just yet.
Why is that?
Vows that were made.
What kind of vows? Was it this most recent lifetime?
No, it seems like this goes way back.
And what do those vows look like? What were they?
Something along the lines of staying silent for protection. Vowing to not spread information or thought for protection.
And can you release those from her?
Yes.
And are you doing that now? What does that look like? How do you do it?
Unplugging and changing the energy.
And that replenishes the area?
And
why couldn't she do this herself?
I'm not sure.
What about the entity from last life that she dealt with? The attachment. Can you tell her about that?
This entity drains energy. The energy that she had fed it, so to speak. And it basically was trying to remove her life force energy. This also attaches to these cords from the past.
Is it still there?
Yes.
And is it still affecting her? How come we've not been able to see it or remove it?
It seems it is from a different type of dimension, or not easily accessible.
And so we wouldn't have seen it before? Can you remove it now that we are able to see it? Are you able to remove it?
Still working on it.
Is it easier to remove it now that those cords within the shoulder are removed?
Somewhat.
And how did they place it there?
This comes deep within their family from lifetimes and lifetimes within this family. There's a dark energy, dark entities attached to them. And it is through marriage that they are placed onto another person. Very hard to remove.
And why are they hard to remove?
It seems to be a combination of spell work, magic, that has deep threads. It's hard to explain.
And so she would not have been able to remove it on her own? And why did it follow her to the spirit side and not get removed there?
I'm not sure.
Is it almost gone?
Still a little bit left. It is hard to remove.
Can you tell me about the process of removal?
It is almost like sending energy to sever the attachment cords that it has. And it just holds very, very tight.
And does that entity, attachment, have a name we might understand here on Earth? Or anything we might recognize?
The only thing is it starts with an A.
Okay. And is it almost removed, or is it finished?
It is removed.
And is it protected, the area, now that it has been removed?
We are setting up a protection now.
And where does the entity go?
We have sent it back in time.
And it will not harm anyone else, is that correct?
And
does the pyramid help with this process?
Yes.
Would we have been able to remove it if she was not sitting in it?
No.
And why is that?
The direction of energy, focus of energy, aids in the assistance of removing.
Is that why we were not able to see it before? Can you tell me about the channeling that Kaylah is meant to be doing?
This will be new energy, new information coming through.
Can you tell me about it?
This will also be how to spread information between many people so that they understand this new idea around spirituality and energy.
And how will she be doing that?
This energy will be new in terms of how to clear one's energy body and how to remove these attachments and darker energies that come forward.
And how will she be channeling that?
There will be many different ways. One will be having an anchor, asking questions. Another will be with earth elements. Water will be helpful here.
Can you tell me about that? What do you mean by water?
Water is a cleansing and clearing material that will be very helpful in clearing and energy work.
And how will she do that?
Almost using it as like a conduit.
Like, you mean like putting water on people?
Using it as a way to transmit.
Well, what is it transmitting?
It has a way of clearing and say reorganizing energy. And so this will be a good way to use when helping others who come to her.
And can you tell me more about the working with an anchor? What will that look like?
Sitting and channeling, but having somebody ask questions is very helpful as almost a grounding anchor in order to receive the information properly. When channeling alone for her, things seem to get lost in translation.
Okay, and so is it going to be similar to what we're doing here?
Yes.
And so if I were to sit and ask her, will she notice the channeling coming through?
Yes.
And who will she be channeling, or what?
This will come from Lyrans.
Can you tell me about them?
This is one of the oldest civilizations with very high-tech information that will help the earth come back into harmony.
And how will they do that?
Transmitting healing energy frequencies, channeling different information from them, and being able to spread it to others.
And so is there a particular Lyran that she's going to be working with? Or is it a group?
It is more of a group.
And do they know her? Know Kaylah? How do they know her?
She's originally from there.
Can you tell me more about that?
Mm. No.
Can we ask them to come through to establish a connection so that way she is familiar with what that connection looks like?
Mm. Okay.
Can you tell me about that? Are they here?
Mm-hmm.
And what do they say?
They're just here to give the energy to become familiar.
And what does that feel like?
Like a warmth. It feels like a strong pull.
And so this was what it will feel like when she's channeling them?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else you can tell her about that? So that she knows?
It will feel like a pull on the left side, near the back, top of the head. That's where the energy will come down.
And why is it there?
It is the best connection point.
And so she knows these Lyrans?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything that they can show her or help her understand while they are here?
They have always been supporting her. She can call on them when she needs help. Practicing this connection on her own through meditation will be helpful. Just focusing on the feeling, inviting them in, and asking what she may need to know for the day.
Perfect. That sounds great. And is there anything else about the Lyrans that she could know as she gets started on this journey?
They are also protector beings, and if at all she feels unsafe, she can call on them for protection.
And how long was she there?
Long time.
Has she been gone from them for a long time?
Yes and no.
And is there anything else that you can tell her about this channeling? Will she be doing this soon? Or starting now?
She can start now, but practicing daily will be helpful.
And can you tell her about her teeth? She had a tooth that chipped. What happened?
She still holds on to a lot of anger, frustration, suppressed emotion that she holds in her jaw. And it has been affecting not only grinding of her teeth, but the tooth in general.
And is there anything you can do to assist her with that, to help heal them? And assist the jaw so that it is protected?
Yes.
Can you help her release those emotions so that they are not stuck in that area?
We can release what we can, but she needs to work through the anger on her own.
And are you doing that now?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to ask about her astrology. She's really pulled to astrology. Can you tell her why?
Yeah. Funny, she comes from the stars, which is funny. But it resonates with her because it, has meaning. It's like a language that she can read. And so practicing this will be very helpful for her.
And why is that?
It gives a deeper understanding to the things that are going on and the things that will come.
Can you tell us about the things that are going on now?
There is a big shift in energy happening everywhere. Within dimensions, within your world, within other worlds, big shifts, cosmic shifts.
And what does that look like for us?
It is a process of relearning who you are, what you are, and moving into more unity and harmony. It is a slow process, but happening nonetheless.
And can you tell me about that? Does that cause physical symptoms for humans that are uncomfortable?
A lot of the physical symptoms come from the resistance, but also the things that they hold on to from their lives, of course.
Is there anything that Kaylah is holding on to?
Anger. And suppressing emotion instead of really processing it.
And how can she process it better?
Somatically will be helpful, moving it up and out of the body.
And how do you do that?
She can move her body in different ways in which to release the energy. She will be guided to those who practice somatic work in order to fully show her how to do it, but intuitively she does know.
And can I ask about my heart? Can you tell me what's going on with that?
There's a lot of different energy impacting you right now that maybe you cannot see or feel.
Can you tell me more about it?
Continuing to focus on your protection as well as your grounding will be helpful right now.
And will it go back to normal?
I do not know.
Well, is the shifting going on right now part of the causes for things like that?
The energy is shifting and having a direct impact on humans and their bodies.
Is there a way to assist so that this is not so difficult? Is it anything physical within our earth that is causing it?
It's a combination of many things. The shifting of the earth, as well as different energies coming about.
Are they good or bad?
It's a combination. Equal.
And what about the animals? We've noticed a change in the animals around us. Can you tell us what is going on with them?
As the energy is shifting, they are noticing. They're very sensitive to energy shifts, differences in things. And so it is impacting them, and they are not sure how to handle it. And so they are adjusting with time. It is just a rough transition.
But they will be safe?
Yes.
Is there anything we can do to assist them with this transition?
Applying protections to them as well can be helpful now.
And so we can protect them in that way and they will be okay?
It will help.
And so is there anything that I can do to assist my heart to help with this process?
I think also looking into the attachments might be helpful, as there might be something that maybe is unseen.
And is there any way for me to know or to find out what is there?
Different tools can help you access that energy.
Okay. Well, I want to ask if there is anything that Kaylah needs to know at this time. What can you tell her?
Not to get ahead of herself. There's a tendency to get ahead of herself and to then become uncomfortable, not feeling that she has reached the point where she feels she needs to be, but rather just trusting that where she is right now is perfect, and continuing to do her practices will be helpful.
And does she have any more attachments or anything that she needs to address at this time?
No.
And are we going to be collaborating together with some of this work?
Yes.
What does that look like?
I will be gathering information through channeling and transmitting it in different ways. Many different sources. This can also look like working with groups of people.
Like teaching?
Yes.
And can you tell her anything else about that as she goes forward?
Sometimes she tends to feel as though she does not know enough. However, she has many, 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 many lifetimes of information within her. And it is about just accessing that information and providing it. And the people that come to her or the situations that she ends up in are for a reason. And to trust that she wouldn't have that opportunity if it wasn't the case.
And so she will know what to do when the time comes.
Correct.
And will she be able to view these lifetimes?
Eventually, yes.
Is there anything else she needs to know at this time?
She was doing a great job.
Thank you.